Welcome to the party. I'm not here right now, but I want you to listen very carefully. These guys are very funny, so pay attention. Enough talk. It's showtime.
Hello and welcome to Bags of Action. My name's Steve and my co-host is Pete.
Hello.
This episode we are talking about Best of the Best, the 1989 film starring Eric Roberts and James Earl Jones. This was your choice, Pete, I believe.
It was.
So do you want to tell the listeners a little bit about what the film is all about?
It's a martial arts film, kind of in the Rocky kind of mode, but with a team rather than an individual. So there's karate in this, there's Tae Kwon Do in this, and Eric Roberts with long hair and the ability to cry on demand, which we'll come to later. So it also stars Phillip Rhee, who went on to be in 4 Best of the Best films. I've only seen 3 of them. He also wrote the story, but not the screenplay, and produced the film as well. So he played.
Wow.
Yeah. So he hasn't done much else actually. He's got a film in production at the moment, according to IMDb. But 80% of his career has been within this particular franchise. I hate that word, but I've just used it, and that's
Okay. So we should probably say that yes, it's set around a competition.
Yes.
A Taekwondo tournament. It's sort of like the Olympics, but not really, and it only happens every 3 years.
I guess it's like the Ryder Cup. Kind of.
I don't know what that is.
Okay, that's golf. That's a golf thing. Okay. The America's Cup. The America's Cup, is that a sailing thing?
Is that golf?
That's sailing, I think.
Anyway, so it's every 3 years.
Every 3 years, America against Korea.
Yes, it's all centred around a team.
Yes, Team USA.
Team USA, yes. But before we get to that, as the credits roll, we have this great juxtaposition of East versus West.
We do. The opening has got to be the most 80s start to any film, I think. So you've got the Koreans that are doing martial arts in long lines, very Enter the Dragon. Kind of these big open spaces, all kind of doing their moves. And then in Detroit, cars are coming off a production line.
Yes,
what a power ballad plays.
It's true. We meet one of our characters, our heroes, Alexander Grady. Call him.
That's right.
I don't know why they insist. Anyway, so he works on the line. He's American. Yeah! And then there's the peace and the tranquility and the calm of Korea as they beat the crap out of each other in straight lines in perfect unison.
The East-West thing in this film is very similar to Rocky IV in lots of ways, which I'm sure we'll come to. Did you notice, one of the actors we haven't mentioned is Chris Penn, or at the time he was going by the name Christopher Penn, which is a slightly longer name, better in Scrabble, although it's a proper name so you can't actually use it in Scrabble. That was a tangent and a half. Chris Penn from Reservoir Dogs is in this film, but did you notice in these early scenes another Reservoir Dogs actor that appears very briefly?
No, go on.
Alex Grady's friend or colleague that he sees when he comes off the production line, and then later we see him in a bar watching on TV the fight. So the very small part is actor and writer and former criminal Eddie Bunker.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, wow.
He's also been in things like Running Man and Tango and Cash.
God, well done.
I have a feeling that part must have been bigger and must have been edited because I think he's got like 2 lines there, and then later he kind of goes when he's watching Alex fighting on the TV.
I did kind of wonder about that. Yeah, I'll come back to that. That was really weird during the fights. But
oops.
Anyway, so the film begins where we meet Alex, and in some ways, although the film is about him a bit, he's not really the main focus. It's really Tommy, another character.
Yeah.
But during this early setup where we have to meet all of the characters, we're introduced to Alex. We know that he's done Taekwondo in the past. We know that he had an injury. He's got an injured shoulder, and he had a pin put in it.
Yes. No, I was saying, I've been reading a screenwriting book recently called Save the Cat, which is it's not a great book. It's all about like really strict writing formulas of kind of blockbuster films. But one of the things it says in it, if you want the easiest way to make a character likable is at the start of the film to show them doing something nice, which, for example, saving a cat. Well, that happens in this film to both main characters. So we see Alex, we see that he has a son, Walter, and we see that he's with his son, but there's no mother, and he's proudly watching him ride a bike without stabilizers for the first time. So that's kind of, okay, this man has a child, therefore we can empathize with him. And then we see Tommy, and he's another nice guy because he's teaching kids martial arts. And then he shows
not
them...
just martial arts, yes.
And I looked at Phillip Rhee's website earlier, and his philosophy of life is on there, and it does all tie into... Well, it's typical martial arts philosophy, isn't it, really? It's like, you don't learn martial arts to fight. You learn martial arts so you don't have to fight. You can find inner peace. So, yes, he breaks up a fight between two young boys.
And teaches them to be best of friends. Not just friends, best of friends.
The word...
I had a feeling that as soon as the teacher turned out, one turned to the other one's, I'm going to kick your fucking ass. That's what I'd like to imagine a kid says.
I can imagine the script means like, if we say best here, it reinforces our title. They do say the word best a lot in this film. But yeah, he's got a bad shoulder, but he still wants to try out for the US team. Now, did you recognise Alex's mum, the actress who plays Alex's mum?
No, I did not.
Okay, have you seen One Flew Over the Cuckoo's Nest?
Yes.
Yeah, it's Louise Fletcher. She's the main, the nurse.
What, Nurse Fletcher?
Yeah.
Nurse Fletcher?
Yeah.
Oh, God. Wow. Oh, wait, really?
I think this is going to... I'm going to have to check now, because...
You're right, it is. Oh, God, it is. It is. Ooh. And here's a nice science fiction connection to you. She was one of the main characters in Star Trek Deep Space Nine for many years. She's a horrible character in that, to be honest.
I don't think there's anyone... I don't think anyone from Babylon 5 is in this film, unless you're going to astound me later.
Well... No, sadly not. I did look, but unfortunately, no. Never mind, though. Maybe next time.
Yeah, we can't really make that a criteria, I don't think. It'll be
Every time I choose something, it has to be from this thing. No, so we meet Tommy, we meet Alex. They're nice guys. They're lovely people.
And they don't have eye patches, which...
Yes.
That shows how nice they are.
So we find that they're both lovely people, and basically Tommy and Alex both get a chance to compete to go onto the team. But first, Alex has to convince everybody, well, more specifically his mum and his son, to do it. And this was one of the weirdest scenes in the film where he goes and sits down and essentially explains it to his son, who's 5, remember, as pointed out several times. He's 5 years old. He's 5. And he explains that he's going to be away for possibly 2 to 3 months. And his son agrees to it if he can have his medal.
Yeah.
And when he wins. And I thought, that's a bit of a tough deal. I work really hard for 3 months and get the crap kicked out of me. And then I win this medal. And then I come home, you're going to have my medal. Really? Really? Not can I have a new bike or, a Nintendo. Do they have Nintendos now?
I think, they would have done, yeah.
A Master Drive or a Mega Drive. Can I have a Mega Drive? Yeah, okay.
I want a Neo Geo.
Yeah. I've had this new thing called a SNES coming out. Super Nintendo. Can I have one of those? No. You can't sell... What's he going to do? Sell the metal and pawn it and buy NES?
I don't know. You're very cynical.
Maybe. You should be the one who's feeling particularly prickly tonight. It's me.
That's true.
Anyway, I just thought, okay. So Alex basically gets a free pass to go off for 3 months. And try this out.
I think is this where we see the Korean team getting picked, don't we, first?
Yes. Yeah. I've written down eye patch equals evil henchman.
And do you know who plays the evil eye patch man?
Only because I've Googled it afterwards. I wanted to know, but go on.
It's Simon Rhee, who's Phillip Rhee's real-life brother.
Ooh. Yes. What are the odds of that? I
know. I was like... Yes, he was the best audition, shush. But, in fairness, I think, and I don't know about some of the minor cast and the Korean team, so obviously, but Eric Roberts isn't a martial artist, Chris Penn isn't a martial artist, so I suppose Phillip Rhee and Simon Rhee are, so I suppose that at least gives it some martial arts credibility.
Yes, although he was very, very good, to be fair.
Yes.
As Dejan. So, yes, we see the Korean team being chosen. Once again, we're back to the field of men standing in perfect lines, and 4 of them are pulled up. And at first I thought, oh, there's only 4 of them. And then I realised, oh, wait, eye patch is also one of them. And it's all about the honour and their discipline. So do you notice the difference? They have this kind of brief kind of, yeah, the second they're picked. But as soon as they get up on the stage, it's formal, it's bowing, there's no smiling, there's no kind of... And it's that total difference between them and the Americans who are drinking, smoking, a lot of smoking again in this film. Swearing,
we seem to be in we're going through our smoking and mullets period, I think, at the moment.
Yes, we are, in more ways than one. So yes, we've met the team. So, hooray!
Yeah, so we see the tryouts now. So this is more
the American.
Yeah, the American tryout next, and we see Frank Kuzo for the first time. And is it him that says it's a goddamn circus?
Yes, and that's the difference. As I was saying, you've got the peace and the calm, and then he comes to the Americans, and the first thing what you see is rock and roll music, spectacle, people cheering, and he says, "It's a goddamn circus." Yeah. And it is, by comparison. Yeah. It's just pomp and ceremony. It's got America.
Yeah, it's got sponsors. It's got a crowd. It's more like a tournament. It's a tournament, isn't it, to get through as much as anything else.
It's just all spectacle and rah-rah. And then we meet the characters. And they do this really kind of quick, almost one-liner way to introduce them. So you got Sonny Grasso. He's the funny guy because he makes a sexist joke.
Yes. That's true. This is not a PC film in any way.
Not at all.
We see Travis. He's a cowboy. We know this because he's wearing a cowboy hat.
It's not a Sonny hat. It's like a giant 10-gallon black cowboy hat.
He's a big man with a big hat.
He's a massive slob. He has music with him. He's an American. He's a cowboy. He's rude. We meet Virgil. He's the smart guy, but also sensitive.
And a Buddhist.
Yes. Oh, God. Yes. So then they go through the sort of trial process, and they have various tryouts and beat the crap out of people, and there's a bit of a kind of a fighting montage here.
Yes. And Travis and Sonny fight each other, don't they? I think.
Yes.
Yeah.
No, wasn't it Virgil?
Was it Virgil?
I can't remember.
I know Travis has got a temper problem, which you could tell just by looking at his face, really. I don't know if I've ever seen Chris Penn play any part where he didn't have a bad temper.
Well, play what you know.
And Alex,
you do not stretch.
And you can sense Alex and Tommy are becoming friends.
Yes, they seem to be getting on well. And it all sort of starts to accelerate a bit then. So they do the call-ups, but there's this weird bit where all of the fighters are sitting facing away from the podium. They're saying, if your name is called, stand up and come and stand with us. And I also expect like a spotlight to shine on them. Like, you have been eliminated. You have been eliminated. You are safe. That kind of thing.
Yeah, it's odd. Watching it again, it's like, I forgot how bizarre that scene is. It does seem a very weird way to do things.
Yes, but it doesn't look like it's going to go well for Alex because all the others are called up. Travis, Virgil, Sonny, Tommy. It's like, there's only one space left. Oh, well, I guess it's not Alex Grady. Hooray! And then he gets up and they all get on stage and hooray.
That's true. I think, did we meet Jennings just before this? So Jennings is a strange character in this film. He's on the board, or he's Kuzo's boss, isn't he? The coach's boss.
Yes. Something to do with the money side of it, or the sponsor.
And I think he'd said, I'm not sure about Alex Grady going. He'd already voiced that. And he's from a few things. I've recognised him from Bound, and have you ever seen the film Class of 1999? Which is a good sci-fi film that he's in. He's one of those kind of, he's from, one of those kind of, he's got one of those faces that you've seen in lots of things.
Seen everything.
Yeah. Apart from Babylon 5.
I can't see. Well, you never know. So yes, the team is picked, celebration, hooray, and they're all really excited. And then we get Kuzo's great speech for the team.
You call me coach, or you call me Mr. Kuzo.
Yeah.
And then, no women, no alcohol, no drugs. You will eat, sleep, and shit competition.
Yeah, that last bit really kind of. I just thought, ooh, that's
painful.
That doesn't sound good. No. Eat, sleep, and shit the competition. Okay. Well, taken literally, that's just disgusting. Yes, I understand. he's very over the top, and he seems to be a complete caricature.
Yes.
To begin with,
yes,
at least.
Exactly.
Mm-hmm.
You know, who wouldn't want to be coached by Darth Vader? That's what I think.
His voice is quite different, though. Have you noticed in this?
At times, when he gets angry, you get a little edge of it. But he gives the rule. Does he give the rules in here as well? I think so. It's very reminiscent of Roadhouse. So don't be late. So okay, at some point, someone's going to be late, and make sure you function as a team.
Everyone's got to get along, and of course, Travis is being a complete dick and doesn't like anybody, and he's still making racist jokes and letting people walk into doors and just being unpleasant, basically, and not a team player.
Yes, this is very true.
You know, I'd like someone to get some of the lines from this film and other films that James Earl Jones has done, right, and recut Star Wars. So when he comes in and just sort of says things like Darth Vader comes in, one of the generals said, "We found this on the ship." Shit. What? Lord Vader. Eat, sleep, shit.
I think someone's done that.
Really?
I'm sure I've seen it. I'm sure it has. It's taken. I'm sure they have. Maybe not from this film, but some of his old performances. I'm sure they have. I'm gonna have to look that up when we finish.
Good. That would be so good. Just be able to have Vader saying the most outrageous things in James Earl Jones's voice.
Yeah, I'm sure they have. I'll look that up when we're done.
Okay.
So
Tommy and Alex bunk up together.
They bond
in their new training. We find out a bit more about Alex's backstory, that he's a widow.
The amazing exposition scene.
Yes. I've written Basil Exposition.
I'm sitting on the bed. Oh, look, there's a photo. Is that your wife? Yes, but she's dead. It wasn't quite like that.
But you know what was weird before that? Before he got the photo out, there's this weird kind of like pretend trumpet music that he was doing to himself.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
I had to rewind it. I was like,
what do you do when you're nervous and sharing a room with another man for the first time? What do you do? I like to play imaginary brass instruments. That's what I like to do. It's terrible because, you know, you could easily veer into saxophone territory and then essentially you're just kind of asking him out.
It was very weird.
It was weird.
I suspect that was Eric Robb. He probably said, just, do what it feels natural. Add a bit of ad-lib. What the fuck is he doing? What? Oh, we'll cut it out. Just keep going. Keep rolling.
And then we see, it's like, I wonder if the two opposites are going to be put in the room together. So Virgil and Travis, the Buddhist and the cowboy, are complete opposites, and they're sharing a room. And Virgil is meditating. And then I'm not going to say what Travis says because I was like, I can't believe you just said that. He tells him that they should go out and see women because women have genitals, basically.
Well, he's basically saying it's our last night before the training. Go out, have some fun.
Before our 3 months of
meet some ladies. That's what he's telling him.
Yes. That's the polite version of what he said, but yes.
Yes.
This is just after Travis has done like a comedy Oriental accent to Tommy, and just to underline that he's a redneck as well.
And a racist.
Yes. But a funny racist. That's the thing, being an 80s film. It's like, he's a racist, but he doesn't mean anything by it. And I'm sure later he'll stop being a racist.
Nope.
Yeah. No, not quite. But that's the thing, actually. You think about it, if this was a film now, you wouldn't have those lines in it anyway.
No.
But if you did, he'd probably change. But in this film, it's like, well, we've just come to terms with him. We've developed a better sense of humour. So it almost puts the onus on the person who's being kind of stereotypically laughed at to actually just deal with it. It's banter. But there we are. And then it's Don, the character that is kind of pointless, who's the coach's assistant who takes them out, isn't it, for the night? He's there looking after them.
He's the one that's got the powerful computers with all the information going back 5 years.
Yes.
And I thought,
imagine that.
Okay. And then he shows off his discs with all the information on. I thought, wow, you wouldn't get much information from those. You'd have a lot more discs than that.
Sorry, this is actually our cigarette, mullets, and outmoded computers sequence, because that seems to be a running theme as well of all these kind of late 80s films.
It's true. Yeah. He's got high-tech computers.
That's right. The board have brought in a trainer to work alongside Kuzo, and he's not very happy, played by Sally Kirkland. She plays Wade, who comes in to kind of teach them a bit more about kind of Eastern philosophy and more kind of sports therapy and stuff rather than just the gung-ho stuff.
But you missed some of the bits. So before we meet Wade, the lads obviously are on their night out, all 5 of them.
Oh yeah, sorry. I apologise. We hadn't met Dave. I think the other scene was around there where we were told that she was coming, and he had to put up with it. Sorry. Yes,
that's right.
We do get. They're going to a bar. What could possibly go wrong?
So they're all there having a nice drink, not getting along.
I've put bar. Meathead locals are playing pool.
But then, right, just Penn's character, Travis, he's supposed to be the smooth one. He thinks he is with the women. And he just asks woman this one of the most inane questions. As he stood there by the toilets and goes, "You go for number 1 or number 2?" I'm thinking, okay, what planet would anybody ever find that one mildly charming? And has that ever worked for him in the past? I don't think it has.
No. And then Virgil, I think it's quite a clever little thing with Virgil being the kind of quiet, demure one, but he's the ladies' man. Yeah. Which is a nice twist on the geek, making the geek, he's useless women, he can't talk to women. Actually, he's really good. Yeah, and it's all, he spills a drink on a woman and then starts dancing with her. And that was quite clever as well. The younger ones are mixed with the ladies, but they've intentionally kind of sidelined Alex and Tommy. They're good. They're the good guys. Yeah. They're sitting and laughing on stools.
Yeah, talking about things, feelings and family and stuff.
Yes, and I think, it's a very difficult choice between Alex and Sonny in terms of who has the best moment. I wouldn't like to call that one.
Yeah, it's tough. It is tough. But yes, Alex is like, I better go and do the thing that I'm known for. I'm going to go and call my son Walter. Yes. He's 5, Yes, we know. His mother, yes, we know. Just go on the phone. So he goes off to make the phone call. And things go wrong because of Travis. Although, to be fair, the woman was encouraging him.
Yes. He says, "Where do you live, Kelly?" And she says, "About another drink away."
Yeah, so basically, Sonny beats these guys at pool, hustles them essentially and takes their money. And then the guy who's playing is ignoring his girlfriend. And Travis is trying on with every woman in the place, sees this woman, gives her the eye, and she gives him the eye back. And then she comes over and they start dancing. And she's doing it just to make her boyfriend jealous, and he doesn't notice for ages. And Travis has got his hands all over this woman, and she's just letting him, essentially, to make her boyfriend more jealous. And he finally notices, and I'm thinking, oh, really? I know that Penn's character in this is a bit overweight, but...
this is a great bit now, when Tommy kind of... It starts to be a bar brawl, but you see that Kuzo is sat at the bar, isn't he, watching
he just has a drink.
You're thinking, maybe he's seeing if they'll work together as a team, like you mentioned earlier. And then I thought it's very... Tommy, how he enters the fight is great, because the guy's kind of wanting him to fight. He's like, I don't want to hurt you. And he's like, oh no, and then he basically just kicks the guy's cigarette out of his mouth.
Yeah, like, just high kick, and thinking, wow, okay, that could be in your face, mate. Yeah. You should have stepped back and walked away.
And Alex is still on the phone, so keep cutting away to him on the phone while the fight is happening, which is quite funny. And then, Phillip Rhee's kind of martial arts ability is showcased massively in this scene, really, because Tommy, the way he's fighting is pretty breathtaking. And then Alex finally, I think, does the person get thrown past him when he's on the phone? I can't remember.
Yes. Yeah. The fight's all going, the bar's being thrown to pieces, so someone flies past
He's
him.
got to go, and I have to say, I love this next bit. It's very John Travolta, as he walks in with the biggest swagger I've ever seen in my life, and then clotheslines the first guy he sees. But he puts his arm out and just takes him out in the throat, but he's doing it kind of... He's a really interesting character, Alex, because he's the sensitive one and the family man, but he does like a good dust-up. And he's just sort of the way he swaggers in there. I just think I watched that a couple of times. Just found it very amusing. And then once the fight is kind of coming to a close, or when it starts to get more serious, Kuzo. Well, when they start putting people through panes of glass, Kuzo kind of tells them to stop. But Travis is still hitting people.
Yeah. But I think he basically let them do it to let off steam, to enjoy themselves. He said it was their last night. He probably suspected something like this would happen, and just tells them to get on with it and leaves them to it until the point where he thinks they might actually kill someone and lead someone off his team. So he's like, okay, break it up, guys, and tells them to leave the bar.
And then that's when we see Wade, isn't it? So the next day, Wade arrives to teach them about yoga and meditation and Tae Kwon Do. And she tells them that beating the Koreans will be impossible. They've spent their whole lives getting into the right mental state. You have 3 months. And then Kuzo is quite mean because he says that the sponsors have supplied them with nice new team tracksuits. But they can't have them until they start acting like a team. The day they start acting like a team, they'll get their tracksuits. And then we get to see the golf, which is a bit, carrot and stick coaching style there. Oh, if I work hard, I'll get a tracksuit. This is amazing.
The thing is, having seen the tracksuits, I'd be like, oh, really? Can we not have something else?
I don't know.
Act as a bonus?
In 1989, I think Joe Bloggs might have been involved with the design. But
that cutting edge.
It was then in 1989, yeah. They have to do 20 laps, which is 5 miles. And they're already moaning, which I found a bit weird. It's like, you've just been picked to fight for America. You're fighting against Korea. It's this big thing. And the first thing you do, do I have to do training?
Do you have to run?
Yeah, I just thought, I don't think people would be like that. But they would think this shows straight away is that Alex is struggling because of his shoulder. He's already starting to hurt him. He's a little bit older than the others. He's been in retirement, so he's struggling when he's running.
I tell you what, though. So Wade, with her philosophy and Eastern thinking, is trying to shape them, mind and body, as one. And very quickly, I realised what her training consists of. So then we get a training with power ballads.
Yes.
Lots of stuff. And I realised what her training methods and her technique consists of. Ready?
Yep.
It's talking very slowly and quietly, very zen. I'm going to waffle on. And it's just so dull.
Very Paul McKenna.
It's not even that. It's just one of the things. Do you remember in Mystery Men?
Yes.
The film, where the character, the Sphinx,
yes,
who says one thing and then turns it around and it says the other thing, and that's basically his whole philosophy to make himself sound mystical. She's from the Sphinx method of philosophy. Like, before your friends become your enemies must become your friends. Oh, deep, thoughtful. Yes.
Winning is a habit, but so is losing.
It's just nonsense. And I thought, after about a couple of days, I've gone, okay, can we get someone who's actually going to help us, or one who's actually studied some philosophy? Because this is balls.
We started to find a little bit more about the characters here again. So we found out quite a lot about Alex. So then we find out a bit more about Tommy. In the shortest scene, I think, in this film, it's about 7 seconds long. Mm-hmm. Back in their shared bedroom, no mouth trumpet. That sounds really wrong. No mouth trumpet in this scene. But Tommy, Alex turns to Tommy and goes, "Oh, have you got any brothers or sisters?" "No." And it cuts away. So it's like, oh, that obviously is a plot point. That's not just an idle bit of information. The fact he has no brothers or sisters is important.
Mm-hmm. And it's underlined, really.
Yes.
It's like, ooh, okay. But then we get some great intercuts between their training scenes of the power ballad.
Yes.
It cuts to the Koreans, and they're stood in waterfalls, meditating,
running in the snow.
The snow. I put Rocky
hitting with
power.
sticks. Yeah.
Yes, I thought this is brilliant. They're doing Rocky-style training.
I put here, the US are seen as normal, the Koreans are painted as brutal savages. Which is kind of how it feels.
Yeah, they're hitting them with sticks whilst they're training.
But you were saying about Miss Wade being of no use, but au contraire, because they start to chop breeze blocks. Can you chop breeze blocks? Can you... Miss Wade is going to show us how, and she does chop a big pile of breeze blocks. Mm-hmm. So, hang on. Not only does she know philosophy from the back of a trading card, she also has some martial arts ability. Yeah.
Book of matches, more like.
Okay, Koreans chop trees topless in the snow.
Yeah, I don't quite get that. It's just sort of thing, but they're just hitting a tree with the same fist, side the hand over and over again. And I thought, oh, right, okay, I don't know what they're doing there, but there you go. So then we get Travis. This is where they go to. Is this where they have the dinner?
Yeah, I put it. Travis is racist at a meal, but everyone laughed it off.
So I had to rewind this twice because I don't understand what the joke was that made everybody else laugh.
Okay.
I still don't get it.
Okay.
Because he says something like, "You don't eat that stuff, do you?" Or then he says something like, "Are you afraid?
Are you yellow?"
And then everyone
he says, "Are you yellow?" He keeps saying, "Are you yellow?" As in, "Are you afraid?"
Right.
And then he kind of points at himself and go, "Yeah, obviously I'm yellow."
Oh, okay.
So what he's done is he's turned the joke back on him, but it's not very nice. It's just really weird. I watched this thinking, anyone I've ever met that does martial arts has some interest in Eastern philosophy or culture or lifestyle in some way, even a little bit. So I just found it really weird for this redneck guy who obviously studied karate to be kind of, admittedly, in however you want to describe it, it's supposed to be jokingly, but he doesn't come across like he's joking, really.
No.
It's just offensive.
It's really weird. I'm still not sure why Travis is on there. He might be fairly good, but the fact that he's also a racist, a sexist, he's got a foul mouth, he's just generally unpleasant. I'm thinking, and you're going to try and integrate him with the rest of the team. Surely he was the bad seed you just drop and get someone else in instead. But anyway, never mind. So yes, then we get even more training montage.
Oh yes, I think if I were to Control F on my document, the words training montage, they'd be in here quite a lot, and usually with the word another in front of them. So yeah, we get to see the Koreans training, but not only do we see it, but it's also a video, I believe, and they get told about their opponents.
Yes,
this is quite frightening. This bit, so they get a document about their opponent. You've got to learn to know about these people. You watch the video. We see all the awards that they've won and who they've injured. So Alex is fighting the best fighter of his generation, which that sounds a bit frightening. And but Tommy gets the top billing against Dejan, the eye patch man, who's older and is the world #1.
But he's won like everything for the last 15 years, essentially. And you're going, but don't let his age fool you.
Yeah.
He's still very, very good. I'm thinking, my God, if he's won everything for the last 15 years, there's no way you'd get him, wouldn't do it. Be like, I've changed my mind. I'm going to go out for a drink. You'll be off the team. Fair enough. I'd just be like, okay, bye. And that'd be it.
Yes.
But speaking of getting from the team, Alex gets a phone call.
Oh, that's after. No, we're not quite there, because first we see the ice cream.
Oh no, we learn that Tommy's holding back. That's what we learn first. The coach keeps saying to him, "You're holding back. What's wrong with you? Why are you afraid?" And don't we get the flashback?
Oh yes, sorry. I think as soon as we've seen Dejan, we see a very brief clip of Dejan in an old video. We do see the moment. Assuming that I've typed this in order, we do. We do see. Well, we don't know who it is. We see Dejan years ago hurting someone, and we see a small boy dropping an ice cream. That's all we see at this moment. But again, it feels very important. And then I thought here, Koreans are running with very Rocky-like music, but with the words "best of the best." Another montage, lots of weight training, and then Tommy and Travis are sparring. That's right.
And I've put bulging muscles. Eric is ripped.
Yes.
I'm so used to seeing him now in things where he's a guy in a suit, or he's an evil henchman, or the boss of an evil henchman, or some crime
Falcone and stuff.
Well, he was something like that in the new Batman films and that kind of thing. And then here he's just this really muscle-bound guy with a mullet.
Yes.
Not good.
Yes. But yeah, Kuzo wants to know why Tommy's holding back, that's right. And then Tommy gets really angry. And then we do start seeing more of that video. And then he gets very angry with a punch bag while wearing a Michael Jackson jacket.
Yeah, I'm not quite sure why he was dressed in red, punching it in the dark.
I think it was the inner rage coming out in the colour of his jacket. Maybe. And then we now realise that that person that Dejan hurt many years ago, hang on, Tommy doesn't have any brothers or sisters. It was his brother, and he was sadly killed.
He was the little boy.
He was the little boy who dropped the ice cream, which is why he's holding back and why the sound of an ice cream van makes him cry. So, this is a little bit here. Now, we're not only are we seeing that, we're not just seeing it as a flashback, we're seeing it on a videotape, on a Betamax, I would imagine.
Well, yeah. Do we have VHS then?
I don't know. I know America went with Betamax, didn't they? When we went with VHS, is that right? Or am I completely wrong about that? I thought they had a few years longer with Betamax. Anyway, slightly off topic. So Don takes the video in whichever format is applicable at the time in that country and takes it to the coach. And Kuzo says that no one else is to see it. This is where the film starts to get a bit soap opera-ish, watching it again, and you suddenly realise how many layers of emotion that they kind of have laid on. But yes, so you get another montage now. And then, Alex, as you said, Alex gets a phone call. So we know now that Tommy is fighting a guy who killed his brother. Which I don't think's good, and I think as a coach finding that out, maybe that's the time to possibly just switch the running order around. Personally.
Yeah, you'd be like, let's put someone on who's a bit more cool and... How about Virgil? He's very calm. Yeah, he's good. Yeah. Sonny's a bit thick and he's easily rattled, but Virgil's a Buddhist. Yeah, put him on. Good. Yeah, great. And no, leave Tommy on.
There's a bit later, from a continuity perspective, that actually makes that scene of Don taking the video to him either make no sense or put it in a slightly different context.
Okay.
Right at the very end. As they try and up the emotional ante, which I think was already at the kind of breaking point by the end of the film. Alex gets a phone call, as you said, about his son, who's only 5.
Walter is his son. His mother died when he was very young. So Walter's been hit by a car. He's my son. And the coach says, well, you can't go. You know you couldn't do anything. It's no drink and family. It's all
then
about
the competition. But my son loses his leg. And he goes, well, you can leave, but you can't come back. It seems harsh.
It seems really harsh. The fact that his son could lose his leg, possibly die. He's like, well, okay, no. If you go, that's it. I thought, wow, they've really made his character a complete caricature
so
at this point.
He goes off to see his son in a coma, but where's his USA jacket? I'm not sure when he was given that, but he wore it. Which surprised me. And also, at this point in the film is where Eric Roberts starts to look more and more like Charlie Adlard.
Why'd you say that?
He just does. He just starts looking like him. I don't know why. He just does. As he starts tying his hair up, he looks like a Walking Dead artist and drummer Charlie Adlard.
Oh, okay. I'll have to do a photo comparison side by side and find out.
This whole Walter being ill thing is very hastily handled. So he gets there and he's like, oh, no, he's in a coma, oh, and then he wakes up.
Yeah, they're saying, his leg's okay. Oh, that's all right then. What's the problem? Oh, he's in a coma. We don't know if he'll wake up an hour or a week. Never. And then he sits by the bedside and we get the kind of time-lapse thing. And Walter wakes up and he's fine.
So Alex heads straight back.
You know what? I expected Walter to wake up. The first thing to say would be
medal.
Daddy, where's my fucking medal? You said next time I see you, get my fucking medal. Where is it? No? Oh, well, go away. So he does, essentially. Walter says, you go and get my bloody medal. So he goes back.
I've seen this film a number of times, and I've never noticed the disdain with which Walter treats his father due to his obsession with a piece of jewellery.
He's gonna melt it down and sell it to his drug dealer to buy some more crack. Walter's fine. His addiction is there to get him past the death of his mother, who died when he was a baby.
It's very sad. It's very emotional.
It's a hard film. There are hard lessons to learn. If you've got to be the best of the best, you've got to give up everything.
Did you notice that when Alex got back, he broke one of the coach's rules because he called him Frank?
Ooh, yeah, but he's emotional. Emotional.
I'm so emotional. I'm not going to call you Coach or Mr. Kuzo. I'm going to call you Frank. Do you want me to beg? Do you want me to beg?
The crying.
Do you want me to beg? I found I'll share it with you at the end. But I found a montage online of all the crying scenes put together. or that Alex cries, basically called Eric Roberts Cries in Best of the Best. There are a number of them. I've never seen a man cry so much in a film I don't think as Alex in this. He begs him. This is the only thing I know that I'm good at.
I'm thinking, well, you're also a father, so surely that's something to be proud of.
You make cars. You make cars. Yeah, good welder.
You're somebody's son. You look after your mother. So surely you're a good family. No, none of that. Okay. Just fighting. Right. And you weren't actually that good because you damaged your shoulder doing it last time, but we're not going to talk about that. And you've been retired for 3 years, so... Okay. Anyway, but yes, just this. Okay.
And Kuzo just basically ignores him, and they carry on, and then it's the kick test. So you have to kick a pad and a very high-tech piece of machinery, which now you get free on your iPhone, measures the amount of force that you've put into it. And Tommy's still holding back, so he's like, do it again, Tommy, do it again, and he keeps saying it, and in the end, Tommy, I think, starts to get more ice cream flashback, yeah. He's like, right, that's it. This guy has eaten my cornetto. I'm going to kick it really hard. So poor old Virgil, the nicest guy on the team, gets a very big kick. Well, but here, I love movies with emotion, but this film is starting to lay it on with a trowel.
At this point, I thought, why did Pete choose this film?
Have you not seen it? Is this the first time you've seen it?
I think I've seen it once before, but I'd forgotten everything about it.
So he kicks Virgil, knocks him out, and then he walks out and leaves on a motorbike.
And I put a song and a bike ride to help Tommy find a way.
But Alex finds him, and he admits to him that he can't fight Dejan because Dejan killed my brother. And this is a bromance, really. And Tommy says he's afraid. But this is a bit weird. Like, you need to deal with it one way or the other. I've dealt with my wife dying. You need to now fight the man who killed your brother. Which I don't think it's the same thing. They're not the same thing.
Comparable.
I know. So
you didn't fight death and kill him and win.
6 stages of grief. But I feel this film is really all about dead relatives. So I think as well, if you were going to pick a team to compete in a high-level sports event, you'd look into their family history a bit more. You'd maybe give them some sort of psychological test, because they're both they're both nice guys, but they're not very stable.
No, let's be honest.
But then Wade is going through Tommy's file, and she notices that some of the pages are missing.
Ooh, yeah. So she gets on to the coach assistant and tells him, "You better tell me, mister." And he basically just buckles. He's like, no, okay, here you go. It's almost like that thing in Austin Powers. If you ask someone 3 times and the third time he just can't bear it anymore. So he just goes, no, okay, look, here's the video. Go ahead and watch that.
Yeah.
And then, but you didn't get it from me. Oh no, what have I done?
And then so she goes to see Kuzo and tackles him and is like, I wish you cared about them, not just about winning. And he's like, I want their all, and I need to give it all. It's not just about winning. As long as they try hard, I'll be proud of them. And then this is the bit which feels to me like was hastily added in the rewrite. I was Tommy's brother's coach when he was killed, and I feel to blame. Now that means either when Don showed him the video, he had never seen it before, which just doesn't make any sense. He didn't know it was his brother, which also doesn't really make any sense. Or he was lying, but it doesn't feel like in the performance he was lying. So that was the bit where it's like, well, hang on, if you've just been made aware of this video, but you were there. Which I thought a bit weird. Maybe he just wasn't letting Don know, and he knew all along, I suppose.
It is odd. It's sort of thing that he's saying that he wasn't ready to coach them back there. He didn't really take it seriously. I'm thinking, did he not even know the names of his fighters? That's the only thing I can think of. Like you, tall one, you're next. What? But I'm not ready, coach. Yeah, you'll be fine. Don't worry about it. You had a nice drink last night. You relax. Let's fight. Yeah.
And it's a very old-fashioned school of kind of coaching or management. And he goes, I need them to hate me, otherwise I failed.
Mm-hmm.
And I think this is all very soap opera and illogical.
It is. It's the kind of thing of, if I make them hate me, they'll become a team. No, they won't. They'll still hate each other and you.
But this is a breakthrough moment, because Sonny, who I keep forgetting is even in this film. I actually forgot he was in this film. Every time I rewatch this film, I go, oh yes, Sonny, the other one. the fifth of the five that you don't really see very often. It doesn't really say anything.
Not really.
But they meet with the coach because they want Alex back in. Even Travis, even the misogynistic racist, like Julia Roberts' brother, who looks like Charlie Adlard, back in the team. That's a breakthrough. They're a team. Yay, Team USA.
And that's when they all walk off, and that's when James Earl Jones goes something like, "Oh my," or "Good grief."
Oh, well, I never.
Yeah, well, I never. Yeah. Something like that. The fact that his cunning plan to make them hate him.
Oh, no, he's actually written it down. He says, "Well, I'll be damned."
I'll be damned. Yes.
The plane leaves tomorrow at 8. Or 2000 hours. And there's another scene earlier, actually, where he says 1900 hours, and Alex goes, "What does that mean?"
No, it's not him. It's Sonny.
Is it Sonny?
It's Sonny. Every time it's something to do with... Sonny's thick, apparently. He doesn't stand time, or he doesn't stand women, and he doesn't stand something else. Like, I'm sure at one point someone shows him something, he goes, "I gotta get me one of those!" Well, it's not quite that bad, but they are making him to be incredibly thick.
So of all the sort of foreshadowing, it's like someone earlier didn't understand what 1900 is. Now we're going to say 2000.
But anyway, so Alex is back in, and I've got Tommy's still on the longest bike ride ever.
Well, I think he was trying to be Tom Cruise. I think it felt very Top Gun or very Officer and a Gentleman, that whole kind of montagey bike ride. Yeah. And this is the cheesiest part of this film, I think, or maybe of any film ever made. Tommy is missing, but what's that? There's a boy over there. There's a boy with an ice cream. He's a nice boy with an ice cream. Do you know what? I'm going to go back.
No, it's not just that. It's two brothers.
That's it. It's two brothers.
Two brothers walking towards the car. They've both got ice creams. The little boy, for some reason, he just drops his ice cream. It falls on the floor. And the big brother, standing there with his ice cream, and he gives it to his little brother. And Tommy smiles. Well, in reality, what would have happened would the older brother would have pointed at the younger brother and gone, "Ha ha," Nelson style, called him a dickhead, said, "Get in the car," and eating his ice cream whilst going, "This is delicious," in front of his brother.
I think what this episode is making me realise is maybe you know, we need to talk about your childhood.
It still hurts. He did it to me.
But I think it's when it's like, you know,
I was the younger brother.
He's been having all these flashbacks to the death of his brother. Not, you know, that's quite the death of his brother and seeing an ice cream. But then the chances of an ice cream incident identically happening anyway is pretty much minimal. But also the fact that, you know what, I'll give it another go, rather than, "Oh my God, ice cream! That's the one thing I didn't need to see today, ice cream."
What he should have done is just gotten his bike and just driven it off the cliff.
Yes, exactly.
Actually happened.
Exactly.
I see one more ice cream. Oh my God! Two brothers. Oh no! That's it. Film would be very different, I think.
It's true. So we go to the airport where Virgil is taking this competition so seriously that he shaved off his beard.
Yeah, I'm not really. And he says it'll make me more aerodynamic, don't you think, or faster? And I just sort of thought, okay, yep. I think Travis just sort of looks at him and goes, "Yes, it will. Yes." Okay.
And Tommy and Travis kind of make up by just kind of looking at each other and hugging. It's very odd. So, "Hey, you racist. Hey, you. Come here, you racist bugger." It's just very, very odd.
No, because doesn't he go to shake his hand?
Oh, yes.
And then Tommy takes his hand away and goes,
See?
And high fives him.
See, I'm funny too.
High five.
It's time to fly to Korea for the final act.
Right, so then we get a great bit where we've got the Korean team in the changing room getting their pep talk. Mm-hmm. Right, and there's no subtitles. And I thought, normally in these films where you have important scenes and you get it from the other side, you'll see the subtitles. But we don't get any, unfortunately, on this point.
No.
So I've made up my own, to be honest.
Okay, have you got it there?
I've written it down. So later on, we see the Americans, and we've got Frank's heartwarming speech about, "As long as you try your best, I'll be proud of you." That's what I'm saying. But then it goes to the Koreans team, and I'd like to think that they're saying something nice. I like to think that that's what the guy is saying, even though the tone and the intonation is quite harsh, and quite abrasive, and quite kind of in your face. What I think he's actually saying is, if you don't win, I'm going to sell your family into slavery. I'm going to deport you to a desert island where you'll live doing manual labour for the rest of your life for no money. Just so we're clear, this is what will happen.
The last time we lost is the reason he is wearing an eye patch.
I took out his eye with a spoon.
And fed it
That's
to
what
him.
I'll do to you.
Fed it to him.
See, you want that? You want the eye patch? You'll have 2 eye patches each. Do you like that? No, then you better win. But I'd like to think that he wasn't actually saying that.
I don't know.
The harsh tone was misleading. What he's actually saying is, guys, you've got to do your best, and I'll be proud of you.
Honourable. I think, I mean, I won't spoil the end, but it's there's a lot of deliberately making the Koreans seem to be like one note and not very nice, without ever actually saying anything, just by kind of playing. I think it's intentionally playing stereotypes and making the viewers go along with it.
I'd like to find the Korean version of this and then get it with the English subtitles and watch that scene and see what they're actually saying to them in the changing rooms. That would be interesting. But I don't think that's going to happen.
Well, we can,
we can dream, Pete.
We can dream.
But better word.
As you say, Kuzo's speech is kind of heartfelt, but a little bit cheesy. Because the team starts saying, haven't we grown? We've grown, haven't we, guys? Yeah, we've grown since we've been together. We've grown. It's like, you don't need to tell us that. And he's like, give all your heart and you'll be winners, whatever happens. You can be the best of the best.
Oh, brilliant.
Ding. Well done.
Have a drink.
There are 15,000 spectators there.
Yes, it's pretty epic. And then they all go into the ring to music. And
Travis is still wearing a cowboy hat. Now, to me, Virgil shaving his beard off is meaningless. But if Travis had basically just had his hat in his hand, looked at it, looked back to camera, looked at his hat and put it down, it wouldn't mean anything, really. But in the way this film is set, it would have been at least a gesture of something. Mm-hmm. But no. And who's in the crowd on his crutches? It's a 5-year-old, Walter.
That's his son.
Yes. Whose mother sadly died. I would have been better if Walter was eating ice cream. That would have been a nice little touch. But
he dropped it. No! Tom heads into the flashback. Just jumps out the window. No!
And the 2 teams bow, and Tommy is staring intensely. And you get the feeling he is not going to hold back anymore. And then we get the brilliant character that is the exposition commentator. Because by bringing a commentator in, he's basically going, hey, American audience, you probably don't know anything about this whatsoever, so I'm going to tell you everything, which is quite handy. So you get to find out that it's full combat. It's a mixture of karate and taekwondo, judo and kickboxing, which I was confused always, like, they're the US karate team fighting against the Korean taekwondo team, but now it became clear. I guess this is pre kind of MMA stuff, but it is mixed martial arts. And we also found out that Kuzo, he's not evil. He brought an ill child across the world to watch his father being beaten up.
Yeah.
What a lovely, lovely gesture.
Full contact as well. Yeah. I also wrote at this point, so they're in Korea, in a foreign country, where it's a national sport, yeah? Their team spends 12 months of the year training. They're completely dedicated to it. They're not part-timers who've done it for 3 months and expect to win, who've got other jobs. So these 6 people, however many it is, have come in, and they're total outsiders, and they walk into the ring, and, you think you'd be a little bit intimidated, but no, there's Travis in his hat.
Yes.
And expect to win. I'd be thinking, guys, maybe we just try, and if we don't make a complete embarrassment of ourselves, in another 15 years, we might be all right. We might actually quite win.
Yeah, it's just, exactly. It is strange. It's Hollywood logic for certain. So you can, by the billing of the actor, will depend on the length of your fight. So Sonny's fight is very short. Again, I'd forgotten he was even there. I'm like, oh, him! It cuts to Eddie Bunker in a bar in Portland. For some reason, was it Portland or Detroit? Detroit, I think.
Detroit.
For some reason, we only get to see him watching Sonny's fight. And he doesn't know Sonny, he knows Alex. So I always found that a bit weird. It's a close battle, but Sonny's not as fit, and he fades in the 3rd round. Yeah,
but of course, remember, it's not about who wins and loses. No. It's about points. The team combined points.
And at the end of the first fight, the score is 11-7 to the Koreans. I have written down all the scores. I'm hoping it'll help.
Virgil is up next.
The other bit as well before this, the logic of who fights two is pretty flawed because everyone seems to get better and better, but apparently it's done by weight, and the heaviest weight is at the end. Now, I'm not being rude, Chris Penn, the late Chris Penn, is by far the heaviest person in that building. And he fights third, and Tommy is in the highest weight category, but he's not particularly big, and neither is Dejan particularly big, so it's a bit weird.
I think it's actually because Dejan, when they took out his eye, they replaced it with lead.
And ice cream.
So he's got a lead plate in his head and a lead eyeball, and that's what makes him.
Okay.
Tommy, I think his pecs didn't move. If you look at them, they're steel. So.
True. And I guess Alex's hair is quite heavy.
The amount of hair gel and mousse and everything on that just makes his head, he can barely lift it off his neck. It's like an orange on a toothpick. It's just so monstrous.
This is the most he's looked like his sister on a film.
Anyway, Virgil.
Yes, Virgil. So yes, I think we go straight into round 3 here. He's doing quite well, but then he gets floored. And he gets elbowed in the spine, and he goes down again, and he gets kicked in the head. And we're now trailing 29, or 20 points to 9.
Yeah.
So I felt sorry for Virgil. He's had quite a lot of screen time. He's had a beard shave, and his fight was pretty short, and he got pretty much demolished.
And he was doing quite well with the girl at the bar, and he didn't have to make a racist joke or steal her from a boyfriend or anything. And it's just thinking, oh, well, never mind, poor lad. Well, at least he's got his... he hasn't got his beard anymore, so he hasn't got anything.
Exactly, nothing. And in these hipster... He was like probably the first hipster, and then he gave it away. Gave it all away. So Travis is up next, as we work through the cast list in order. Now, this isn't a pretty sight. There's blood everywhere. You know, they're both giving their all. But Travis gets booed for lack of respect.
Yeah, it's almost that Hulk Hogan kind of thing where the guy punches him a few times and you're thinking, oh dear, get some points. And Kuza's looking there, and I'd like to imagine he leans over to his friend and goes, he's gonna Hulk out. Because he does. He gets angry. He does. And then he starts pounding his opponent and just like beating the crap out of him. But his opponent isn't done yet.
No. And it's a quick combo, and then it ties the fight at 3-all.
So now we have the strength test, and whoever loses that, obviously you get less points. They have to break as many as they can with their fist.
So that would explain why they were doing it earlier. I always thought, why do they need to have a winner if it's about points for the team? But I guess they can, there's a reason for it. So yes, they have to break. So Travis does his, and he breaks them all apart from 3, which is quite impressive.
Yeah.
But his opponent is going to use a very rare ridge hand technique.
Yes, which I actually think wouldn't work.
Okay.
First. I think he actually would have just broken his thumb, but that's just me.
Okay. But he's been hitting he's been hitting trees for a year in the snow. So, and he breaks them, and only 2 are left, which is less than 3. And I love this bit. The old guy is not counting them because he has to. And Travis goes, "What are you counting them for? What are you counting them for?"
He's there going 1, 2, 3. Wait. How many have you got? I have to start over. Come on. 1, 2, 3. Him. 1, 2. Is that more or less? More or less. Oh, Korea wins the point.
And then the commentator reminds us again. He goes, although he lost the match, don't forget that the total points will determine the winner. Just so we know there's something to play for. Because if we lost 3 by now, and it was based on the number of victories, then we'd have just no point. But then they refer to Alex, the veteran Alexander Grady is up next. He's the long shot.
Reminder, everybody, he's got a bad shoulder. He was injured 3 years ago. He has a son who's 5.
Go on, Dad, I'm your son, I'm 5. So Tommy gives him a talk, gives him a pep talk. What does he say? I can't remember. What does he say?
At this point, I've written down that Alex seems to be a nice guy. Yeah, we thought we've had his story so many times it's imprinted the inside of my eyelids at this point, and he's a really nice guy. So they do the whole the bowing, And then Alex, just before he starts the fight, he looks at his opponent and goes, I'm going to kick your ass.
Yeah.
Whoa, wait, hang on, what happened to this nice guy?
He's just very different. When he's a different person in the ring. Definitely.
He turns.
Yeah.
He's complete, like, Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde thing.
I can't remember. Does Kuzo tells him to... I've got here that Kuzo reminds him to watch the shoulder, but I can't remember. Did he say it to him privately? Because if he shouts across the room, watch your bad shoulder, that I think in a contact sport, that may be a bad idea.
Yeah, I think he just tells him.
Yeah, okay, that's fine. Good. So Alex gets an early score, but he loses one straight away. But he's outstanding in the montage, and he closes the gap. And this bit, they definitely kind of paced over. They go, he's doing so well, he's closed the gap in the competition. They don't tell us how much by, but he's closed the gap. No. So, at the end of round 2, Alex has taken the guy out with a big shot, but then it spills out of control. And Alex and the guy are kind of pushing each other. Dejan and Tommy start pushing each other, so they need to keep cool.
Yes, and then it all goes terribly wrong. Oh no, there's a terrible hammock. It's a great move, actually. The guy kind of knocks him down, and then just as Alex is getting up, doesn't he like do a jumping hammock kick?
Yeah, onto his shoulder.
Hits him with the heel on the back of his shoulder. I was like, wow, that was impressive.
He read his file, you see. Page 4, very bad shoulder.
Oh, I should probably remember that. Yeah,
and I'm not. This is. I don't know. Actually, I don't know what it's like to have a dislocated shoulder, but I imagine it's like this. It's a very good bit of acting, I think, and physical acting, because
in films, when someone normally does it, you go back and look at Lethal Weapon. This is, of course, years after this. I think Mel Gibson looked at this and went, "He's screaming an awful lot. I'm sure it can't be that painful. I'm going to tone it down. I'm going to play it as if it just hurts a little, not a lot." Whereas he goes the complete opposite and screams.
He's hopping on his on his shins with his arm flopped right down. And he's going, and it's like, and if he can't finish the match, he will forfeit, and the America will lose all the points. Plot point.
What point?
He got 2 minutes. He got 2 minutes basically. So, pop it, Tommy. Pop it, Tommy. And so he's fighting back tears, and Tommy's fighting back tears.
But then we get Wade, who comes over, and just the annoying, slow-talking Zen thing. At this point, I would go, you know what? You're not helping. Unless you've got some painkillers or an injection, something to take away the pain. You telling me to push the pain away.
They don't even have they haven't even got the fire in cups like in the Karate Kid remake. That would have been helpful.
They haven't got anything to give him a rhythm or anything to focus on. She's just saying the pain isn't real. He's screaming, going,
I know, yeah.
What? I'm thinking the pain is pretty real.
There is no pain. There is no pain. It's like, you silly lady.
I'll be like, okay, I'm going to dislocate your shoulder. Then you tell me there's no pain.
And they cut to his son in the crowd. He's understandably upset. He's had a pretty crap week, if I'm honest.
I think what he's actually doing is pointing to his chest, going, my fucking man.
Yeah, I faked a coma for this.
I got my leg fucking broken. My mate run me over off my bike. So, I need that medal so I can melt it down and buy Coke. Get my fucking medal.
So Alex has had his shoulder popped back in, and they're going to tape it up. And obviously the coach is fine with this. That's not...
fine, sure.
Health and safety.
I've just got to last out a couple of minutes. That's all I've got to do. I've got to last out a couple of minutes.
30 seconds. It's 30 seconds left. So,
I can do it.
Don't worry, health and safety hasn't been invented yet. But this is the bit where you think, not only does he manage to last with his bad arm, he does a one-arm move, which I put here is crazy, but a bit cool.
What was the one-arm move?
I can't remember what he did. He punches him with his good arm, I think.
That's it.
Yeah, I guess you tend to only punch. But it just looks very odd because his shoulder's bad. But the buzzer sounds, he starts crying again, mixture of pain, emotion, and time of the month. And the score is now 29-22. So
it all comes down to this.
7 points. 7 points between them. 7 points between them.
What does it mean? Anyway, so...
I put here, I wish that Simon Rhee and Phillip Rhee had been cast as Snake Eyes and Storm Shadow in G.I. Joe.
Maybe if they do another remake, they could.
They could. I'm going to write in. So, yes, the final match. Dejan versus Tommy Lee.
Ooh. The weird thing is, I put within a couple of seconds, Dejan has punched him in the face.
Yes.
It's really casual, and he's really blasé, which is weird given what kind of happens. But he's totally arrogant. He's totally like, yeah, whatever, I can beat you. I've read everything about you. And he just starts to take Tommy apart and just absolutely kicks the crap out.
He's 3-0 up, isn't he, within seconds?
Yeah, it's like Tommy's not focused, he's not there, he's just not in the moment. He's too scared, I think, really.
Yeah. And then he pulls back 2 points, then Tommy's down again. It's very close at this point. And then Travis, who I think is one of the great motivators of cinema history, he shouts out, "Drop him like a toilet seat."
Well, at least it wasn't a racist remark.
That's true. He's moved on. He's now at toilet humour.
Alex has already gone from, "I'm going to kick your ass," to, when he comes back in with one arm, he says something else like, "You're going down." I'm thinking, mate,
you've got one arm.
You can barely stand up.
I missed this out in my earlier notes, but I've put, Alex's trash talk is pitiful. So then, just because we know, don't forget the good guy is the one without the eye patch. So let's just like they do in all these films, let's just make it a little bit more. Let's get Dejan to do an illegal move. Now, I don't know why he felt the need to do an illegal move when he's, at least on paper, the better fighter. So he kicks him in the groin.
Yes, and he seems to think it's really funny. I'm thinking, okay, if you're a bloke and you've ever been kicked in the testicles, you know it's really not funny. I speak from personal experience. I'm sure at some point
I have had both a football hit me at very high speed in that area, and also a girl who I can't remember what I said to her. Actually, I can. I'm not going to say it. In school, who kicked me as hard as she possibly could there. And just you mentioning it then, I can feel that pain again.
Yeah. Anyone else who's listening, when we say that creeping, crawling, is that 2 seconds we think, oh, I'm all right. Then no, the pain starts to grow, and it is indescribable, yes. The agony. It is, and yet he thinks it's hilarious. Maybe part of his punishment when they took out his eye is they took off his testicles. And he's thinking, you kicked me there, nothing happened, I haven't got any testicles.
He's got 2 ice creams. And a cone.
Easy.
So we find out at this point that he needs 6 points or a knockout to win. And it's so important. There is stirring music featuring keyboard and also electronic drums.
Mm-hmm. It's all very important at this point. And I put Tommy powers up.
Yes, because there's another illegal hit. And the Koreans are bad, but the ref doesn't see it. And then Tommy's starting to go for it now, and it's 33-29 with 90 seconds left. And Tommy is kind of, the red mist has descended.
But some of the moves he does are amazing. Yeah. The actors just fantastic.
I think it's great. I mean, obviously it works for the story anyway, but having this fight be much longer because it is 2 Tae Kwon Do black belts in real life and stuntmen and whatever else they actually are, you get this is where the proper martial arts really kind of kicks in.
And you get the commentator helpfully saying that to you as well, going, "This is what it's all about," and going, "Okay, thank you, Mr. Stan Exposition." And it becomes almost like a sort of dance, the two of them, that are just sort of that good.
And then he takes Dejan down, doesn't he? And if he doesn't get up quick enough, it'll be a TKO, and if it's a TKO, America have won. But can Dejan get up? And it's like, well, hang on a moment, this is a man we're not supposed to like. What's going to happen here? But it's 33-32, so there's only 1 point in it at this stage, which is quite a comeback. But he hobbles to his feet, bloody and struggling to see. But
it's really, his eye patch has come off too.
Yeah, that's not going to help.
No. But he's covered in blood, and it's really brutal. Like the pads are covered in blood on his chest. His hands are.
Well, throughout this one, considering it's a sports martial arts film, it's really bloody throughout. Really through all 5 fights. And then Tommy starts to think about his brother. Or he's really fancies an ice cream, I'm not sure. And then Kuzo starts shaking his head.
No.
Then Alex goes, no. Fighting back tears and holding his shoulder.
Was crying.
But Tommy is shaking, and he has murder.
Well, you missed a bit as Walter pointed his chest going, do it.
I just want my medal.
Do it.
So Tommy is shaking, And he's going to kill him.
He's on the edge. He's on the edge. He's going to kill him.
Helpless Dejan as the clock runs down. But he doesn't do it. He doesn't finish him.
Because he's a good man.
He lets Dejan fall to the floor, and the US lose the match by 1 point. But you were 11 points down, Tommy, and you won the match. So now you can cry if you like.
You're a winner, Coach says. You're a winner. You won this match. You won. I'm thinking, well, yeah, you did, but overall, no.
Well,
they
I
lost.
think, again, first I'm seeing this, I thought, that's refreshing to not the main cast not to win, for America not to win. That's, that's refreshing. But, there seems to be some running time left on this film. What could possibly happen now? It's Walter running from the crowd with a knife.
Trying to stab his dad in the eye. What's going on? Wait.
Medal! So it's awards presentation time, and the medals are given to Korea as their victors. And Dejan suddenly limps across and makes a very moving speech. To save a life in defeat is to earn victory and honour within. Your brother, too, was a great fighter. I deeply regret your loss, and I offer you myself as your brother. Which, I'm not sure they would be allowing. Would you want to be friends with the guy who killed your brother? I don't know. But I guess it makes you hang on a minute. That was obviously an accident. That was obviously, he has regretted it ever since, although he's carried on fighting. And you go, maybe the Koreans aren't the one-note people that we've come to believe. And he takes his medal off, doesn't give it to Walter, he gives it to Tommy, and then they both start crying, and they hug. And Alex, of course, cries, and the nice Koreans. They all hug, and the crowd applaud.
No, but then the next Korean comes up to Alex and says, Alex, Grady, I know everything about you and your son Walter, who's 5 years old, who's a crack dealer, and also your
medal seller.
Medal. And he's giving the evil eye. I must now give you my medal. So he gives Alex his medal.
Yes. And
then the rest all do it. And then I like the way that Chris Pratt just gives the Korean his hat.
Yes. Which means more. That means more. So he had. I guess he did eventually give up his cowboy hat. So So
I was thinking there'd be more. At this point, there'd be kind of, we'll get to see home. We'll get to see, Walter smacking his wrist, getting his he's sorting himself out at home in the back alley doing a deal. But no, we get the freeze frame ending right here in the ring.
Yeah. And again, with these kind of 90-minute late 80s, early 90s films, we're noticing that they all seem to end very quickly. They swap medals because, do you know what I've just learned? To be the best of the best isn't about winning. You're not the best of the best just by winning. You're the best of the best by being a better man. That's what I learned, Steve.
Oh.
Yeah.
Wow, Pete.
That's why I watch this film at least once a year, just to remind me that.
Wow, that's deep, Pete. I'm tearing up.
Pete.
I'm tearing up and thinking of ice cream.
Yes. I haven't eaten ice cream since I first saw this film, and I never will again.
In 1989. That's the last time you ate ice cream.
It was. While watching the film. Ben & Jerry's just doesn't taste like it did.
It just fell to the floor, and that was it. Game over, man. Game over.
So there we are.
So that
was the best.
Entirety.
The best.
Okay, so you chose this film, just so we're clear.
Yes. And in fact, it's been one of the most talked about from saying that we've announced it, and what people have said to me what a great film it is. Now, I would say that cynical 40-year-old me, who's seen this many times, and has read a lot of books on screenwriting and on story structure, it is a very formulaic film. It does lay the emotional stuff on with a trowel, because the son and the brother stuff everything becomes so kind of incredulous that it all could have happened and that it will be allowed to happen. And it's a little bit laid on with a trowel. Right. But I've got a massive soft spot for this film, probably because I would have been about 15 when I saw it first. And I was really into martial arts films at the time, as someone who was watching lots of Van Damme and stuff like that. This was a big budget film in comparison, with some actors and everything. I love sports films and underdog films and Rocky and that kind of stuff. So it kind of has always been a film that I look back on and I really like. However, I've owned this film twice. I owned it on VHS, and then I got rid of it. And then a couple of years ago, I bought it on DVD, watched it once, and then sold it on eBay, which possibly shows how my relationship with this film has changed. And
interesting to hear what your score is, given your relationship.
So, and obviously you've only seen it once, you think. So,
I think this is my second time.
Okay,
I think I saw it closer when it came out, back in the late 80s, early 90s. Probably when it was on video.
So you said kind of halfway through you were thinking, why on earth has Pete picked this film? So did you still feel that way at the end?
Well, are we ready to do the scores then?
Yeah, let's do it.
Son of a bitch. Enough with the yakety yak. What is your score?
Okay then. So, given that everything we've just been talking about and how we've had to fill in some of the gaps with our story of our own creation to make it more interesting, what are you going to give it for a score?
Okay, well, I'm going to give it a 3. And there was a time it would have been higher than that. I would think at least one of those bags is a nostalgia bag more than anything else. I didn't remember that there was that much crying in it. I don't think there's anything wrong with crying, but it's a big part of the film. But I just think, Eric Roberts, Chris Penn, some proper actors, and some good martial arts. It's still an enjoyable film. I'm still happy to watch it again. So it's a 3 for me.
Okay, all right. So, yes, I think this is the second time I've seen it. Halfway through, I did begin to wonder, why? Why did Pete choose this film? But as it went up between the annoying Wade with her Zen philosophy of talking slowly and saying there is no pain, the man just had his shoulder dislocated, and he's crying and rolling around on the floor in agony, I thought, yeah, I don't know, but there were some good bits. They took the one sort of dimensional things where you thought, well, Kuzo's just this royal pain in the arse, and you found out that actually he isn't. So that was interesting. Then they took the bit with the Koreans, and I thought, they're bad, they're evil, they're all evil, and then you're thinking, well, actually, no, they're not. They're just people that are trying really hard for their country, and they just go about it in a very different way, and you get to find out more about Dejan and the rest of them, and I thought, okay, yeah, so that was actually in its favour, but I don't know. I don't think I don't have this nostalgia that you do.
No,
so that bag is missing for me.
Okay.
So for that reason, I'm going to give it 2 bags.
Okay.
It was good, but it was not great.
Well, if you put our scores together, it gets a 5.
Yeah, it's still 2 from me.
Yeah. I do. Yeah, sorry. The thing I think that I liked about it at the time so much as well is the ending, which now, again, I'm not as keen on as I was then, but I think that the things you just said, where it kind of shifts those stereotypes, where they don't have to win and stuff, so especially as a teenager, that was kind of a big deal, because it's not what you expected to happen. And would you ever watch it again? Do you ever feel the need to watch it again?
No.
Okay. And will you be watching the best 2, 3, and 4?
Are they more of the same?
No, they're quite different. I'm going to spoil the second one. But so if anyone's listening that's watched the first and is thinking, do you know what I need to do? I need to go and watch the sequel. Then spoilery bits coming.
1, what's wrong with you? Yeah. And 2, let's carry on.
Come on now. So the second one is same director, same writer, I think. Bigger budget, much bigger budget, because this was quite successful. But it's all about kind of cage fighting to the death.
Ooh,
and all the characters, I believe, from the film, apart from the top 2 cast, are killed in the opening sort of few minutes. Chris Penn's character dies straight away. I think this is really going to test my memory, because I think it came out in about 92 or 93. I saw it on video, and I've only seen it once. It's not very good. And what's his name is in it? The guy from Predator. Is it Sonny? From Predator is in it. Yeah, Walter's in it. You'll be pleased to hear. But people like Ralph Muller is in it. So Dejan is back. Do you know what? I'm going to have to watch this again.
Suddenly you've talked yourself into it. Sounds so good. You know what?
Actually, in an underground fight club, black belt Travis Brickley is killed after losing to the evil martial arts master Brackus, who is Ralph Muller, so a huge, huge man, also from Universal Soldier. Travis's death is witnessed by Walter Grady, the son of his best friend, Alex Grady. I don't really think are they best friends? Alex and his partner, that was interesting, Tommy Lee, vow to avenge their friend's death by defeating Brackus and shutting down the fight club.
Ooh.
And the tagline is, "Get ready for the ultimate challenge."
Ooh.
I remember thinking it was awful, but I'm going to watch it again, I think.
You know what? I'm going to let you watch it.
Oh, okay.
And then you can tell me.
I honestly thought for a split second I thought you were going to watch it, but then I remembered that won't happen.
No.
I'm assuming that Walter was there waiting to find a medal of some sort. Meg Foster's in it, guys. This film has got... the actor Sonny Landham, that's right, from Predators.
Yes.
It's a list of basically people that have been in other films that we've talked about.
So, let us know what you thought of Best of the Best. Is it a brilliant film? Are you dying now to go out and watch it and learn about winning is not everything, and Zen philosophy, and... Ice cream, and long bike rides to clear your head. Things like that. And crying. How crying's important.
I think you're going to get a lot of stick for not liking it very much.
Let us know. Yeah. You could email us. You can come on to the Facebook group, come on to onto Twitter, and talk to us on there, and look for Bags of Action, and let us know what you think. Okay, so that's it for this episode. In the meantime, it's good night from me.
And it's good night from him.
Good night.
You have been listening to Bags of Action. No bullshit. You better stick around for the next episode, because if you're lying, I'll be back.